Hello everybody and welcome to the Challenger 1 quick overlay. This is a PvE battle video, so I'll save you the trouble if you don't want to watch it. My name's Blackjack, I am your streamer, I suppose, today. This is the FV 4030/4 Challenger 1. Well loved and respected by 99% of British tankers. That small 1% who were eaten by the turret monster aren't massive fans. She was first put to pace in 1983, a main battle tank purely designed to succeed the Chieftain Mark V and all her successive upgrades, including the Chieftain Mark 14, which is the upgraded turret Chieftain 5 you have in Armoured Warfare. The gun on this tank is not fantastic for a tier 7. She has the lowest alpha and the lowest penetration of all the tier 7 tanks in the game. This is counterbalanced apparently by her monstrous hit points. Her damage per minute again fairly average, but again we don't play the tank for the monstrous hit points. We play it for the ridiculous accuracy and rate of fire. She's not a slow tank, 55.8 kilometers per hour, so that's not terrible, not great acceleration at 10.5 seconds to get to half speed. We do tend to play this tank for this. These are her armor stats. Now, she is somewhat of a brute. Her frontal essential is pretty much 1.5 times thicker. Now you've got to take into account obviously that HE and AP have the same overall thickness ratings. When you switch to shaped, however, they nearly double. Now this is a tank that you will want people to be firing ATGM and heat at your face all day long, because you will sit there and thank them for all that lovely experience, because you will be mitigating tens of thousands of damage, and this tank is built to take punishment with a health pool as standard of around 2250, I think, off the top of my head. It might be more, I think it might be 2450. I don't recall. This tank again, it is designed entirely around bearing the brunt of enemy contact. She is most certainly not a flanking vehicle. I highly suggest you don't play her as such. Rely on your slope. That front turret, as you can see, is very well sloped. The front lower glacis is protected by the ERA kit on this tank. Whilst her initial isn't exactly fabulous, the lower plate is a big problem until you get this ERA package. If you go hull down, you're actually pretty much just as survivable. Oh well, we're very quickly into a game, which is always nice. This is probably going to be a difficult one for me. Again, you will have to excuse the slow load times. My rig is most certainly not happy at the moment. I had to butcher together a power unit just to get this to work. We are in a tier 8 game with the lowest tier. It's always nice. 2 T90s, the alpha machines themselves, a PZH 2000, good artillery. Hopefully it'll be a good artillery player, and the M1128, which is the wheeled tank destroyer. Now I have no experience in that vehicle at all, but from what I've heard and what I've seen, it's actually quite the monster. Operation Ghost Hunter, not one of my favourites, although it is one of the better ones for the Challenger. Okay, well here we are. We're loading in again. The frame rate is terrible, and the picture quality, for some reason, my recording software doesn't particularly like Armoured Warfare. Never have this problem on World of Tanks or World of Warships. But let's begin. Now, right off the bat here, I make a mistake. I should not have taken this route. As it turns out, it was beneficial to me, because the secondary objective is on my route, which I am more than likely about to drive clean past and make a complete tit of myself. And yep, there it is, completely ignoring it. I am a complete genius. Now you'll notice that this tank in a moment has exactly the same issue that the M1A1 and M1A2 Abrams have, and that is your turret depression when facing backwards is absolutely awful. The overall depression on the gun is fairly impressive at -7 degrees. You can hill poke with this if you are that way inclined. You can sit yourself quite calmly at the crest of a hill, pop off, and pretty much ruin people's day. Don't expect anything fantastic when going head to head with equal or higher tier tanks, although they can't expect much in the great results of your frontal armour. This is one of the reasons I don't like this map. They spawn from absolutely everywhere. In fact, I think I spend the next couple of minutes pretty much just hull jigging, which is always entertaining in itself. The T90s, as you can see, living up to their name of alpha machines. That's a 700 hit. There is one in here where he gets, I believe, a 950 damage strike, which was impressive in and of itself. T90 will be one of those tanks I feel that people either love or hate, and I think it's a wonderful machine. I think it is it's fairly accurately represented. Here you go, and he missed. Fabulous, I did not. That's one down, and there's the big hits incoming. Secondary objectives have been complete. This is the advantages of having an artillery on this map. A lot of people complain about artillery. I have to say, in PvE, on the right maps, it is a godsend. Mostly in dealing with enemy artillery, particularly the ones that decide that one MBT on your team is juicy and needs to die immediately. You'll notice the accuracy dispersion on this gun is almost non-existent. It is pinpoint accurate, verging on unnecessarily accurate. The turret traverse is impressive. It is, I think, about 20 seconds for 18 seconds for a full 360 traverse. Don't quote me. I think that's right. And boom, ass shot. But again, there's the biggest problem of the Challenger working against it, is you are never going to see numbers much above 450. I'm running a chrome barrel lining on this, maximising that damage and accuracy, because I mean, look at that, look. You can slot that shell through a letterbox at 200, 300, 400 meters if you fit this tank out correctly. Our artillery has repositioned. Our two T90s are gallivanting across the map in a rather entertaining way. But there you are. It's not a sluggish tank. I was touching 60 kilometers there. It's quite maneuverable at speed, contrary to what the paper stats would have you believe. Here we go. There's the big alphas, 2 T90 shots, and his target is completely blown to pieces. Again, the accuracy of this gun, even while moving, is fairly worrying. That's a T90 MS, that's a problem. I'm not going to do anything against that, so I'll pick on this AFV. Now here you'll start to see the armour working in your favour. That AFV is firing heat, I believe, heat rounds? Must be. He's hitting and doing no damage regardless, because if he's firing heat, I've got essentially 1200mm of effective frontal, and if he fires HE, I doubt he'll get much above a double figure. I've noticed that that is a expeditionary tank going after our artillery. There's nothing I can do. Far too slow in this tank. Never mind. And where are we going? This is quite dull to listen to. My voice is not the most attractive thing in the world, but for some reason my Fraps doesn't like to record audio either, so I'm trying to figure that one out. Although the rate that my machine is going, I'm going to end up upgrading it anyway, so we'll just put up with it for this one, and then hopefully my next few will have some sort of sound. And that is a Leo 2 I have no shot on. Oh well. Right, let's move on into the city. Now this is where the Challenger 2 is fantastic, the Ariete is fantastic, and the Challenger 1 is fantastic. These tanks are excellent city brawlers. They've got over average and fairly impressive frontal side armour. Obviously towards the engine compartment it gets rather mediocre. If If you play the tank right, you can hold, and I've seen it done, I've not done it myself, but I've seen it done on this map, on this operation, where I've been dead, obviously, and the last surviving tank was a Challenger 1, and he held this point by himself, by clever use of his armour. It's a very, very tough nut to crack. I think so far I've taken one hit from a HE. Yeah, one hit from a HE there is. Tiny damage. Oh, excuse me. Tiny, tiny damage. I'm trying to remember what happens here now. I think we crest this hill and get spotted by God knows how. Ah, there it all is. And there you go. There's no mate. Just going to sit here quite calmly. That's a Leo 2. Puts him into his engine. Hopefully we can disable that, which means that our T90 can pop out and ruin his day. Try and do as much internal damage as possible. That's where a lot of your benefits of your challenges are, is internal module damage. Go for engines, go for tracks, let your teammates deal the high alpha. You're there to be a pain in the arse of the enemy. And I did kill that one. Okay, so you're there to be a pain in the arse and kill the bigger tanks. Again, the Stingray 2. This is a tank that I personally want to drive. I don't have one unlocked. I am a long way away from it, but it is a pretty tank, and it apparently is a DPM monster. What have we got left? I think I'm about to get flanked by 2 M8s. Yep, there's one in the cap zone. I'll spot him and I'll get a shot into him, and then I haven't got a clue what I thought here. I should have just gone straight up that road, and I didn't. I decided to circle round and thought, oh, I can slip through the gap in these 2 buildings, and there's no gap, so I'm going to have to swift around. There goes the T90 to go and club baby seals with his big gun. So by the time that I've actually weaved myself through here, the T90 has emptied and killed one. However, I still make a good account of myself. The ram damage right there. I think that's the last bit of damage I take in this game. I can't remember if that's a Ramco or a Terminator. I think it's a Terminator. Yes. No, Ramco. Terminator? It doesn't matter. It's an autocannon tank, and it has an unmanned turret. So don't shoot the turret unless you want to do literally no damage. Again, shares the same weaknesses. That frontal driver's plate is a godsend when you go toe to toe with that tank. Same as the T90, same weak spot. And here you go. That's an expeditionary tank, more than likely wielding the higher end ammunition. I can ignore the target. Get to my left entirely. Swivel my tank round, and here comes that T90. Watch this. I take the shot, and I very nearly smashed him in the side. You'll see that a lot in T90 drivers. They'll cut you up just to get on the old seal beat stick, and I can't believe I just bounced an M8. It's goes to show that their angling system works in game. Well, he died very brutally. He dodged. Well, he ate the shell from the T90. My shell finished him off, and I didn't even get a sniff at that. But there you go. It's the end of that one. So let's take a look. 10,991 damage, 10,036 assists, 14 assists overall. It's not a bad show. Not a bad show. Quick look across, and there you go. There's your stats. The screen quality is terrible, but 17,500 damage for the T90 just shows what the beat stick really is about. Well, that wasn't too bad. Sorry it was PvE, not PvP, but I don't think my machine would handle a PvP game. But there you are. Shots fired 32, shots hit 30, 72 damage intake, and 1,579 potential. So the armour works. Go figure. Well, ladies and gents, that's it for today. Thanks for watching.